Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You catch me on my channel, True Divine 44. Hopefully on Bitchute. I'm going to try and upload again today on Bitchute at True Divine 44. And anywhere else will be in the description box as and when I can try and fit in all of these different platforms to try and figure out how they work. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. This is the daily energy readings that I put out to support, guide and inspire you to reach your highest potentials, recognizing the energies of the day around you, within you and within others. Take what resonates. It is general. Leave what does not. Please do leave a comment. I appreciate all of the comments and adore all of the people who regularly put the comments there. I appreciate the dialogue that you guys open up. So this is for the 17th of March 2021. Anybody listening for a while has known that the 17, I've kept getting the numbers 17, 17. I'm going to do a video on that. I had a breakthrough with that last night. It's nothing to do, maybe segueing a little bit into the obvious daily 17 of today. But very little to do with that, more of an inspiring message, a remembrance of more realistic and true history. So I'll try and get that done today, with it being the 17th. So for the 17th, we've got on the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. Huge amounts of opportunity today to take your authority, to stand your ground in your physical reality, to be able to really make a stand in your life where you know you've been being led or being pushed inside to make this stand on the outside, to take back some of your own ground, some of your own authority and divinity. The Emperor is very much full of wisdom, very forward thinking, full of foresight, able to plan and strategize and see what needs to be done, and ruthless in a good way, in the upright of just knowing what needs to be done and when, regardless of the emotional factor, regardless of what has been holding you back emotionally from doing whatever it is you need to do today to take back your own authority in your own life, with the people around you, with yourself, to be able to put plans in progress, to be able to begin what you know you've been led to begin and been putting off for quite some time. Being brave. The Emperor does have this authoritative air about him, and he builds firm foundations. It's number 4, so it's the firm foundations that you build upon, and you do that by building upon your truth, not by the truth that others want you to represent, not by the truth that your maybe compromised self in this reality wants you to, or is pushing you to represent, but the real you, the authority of you, your divinity. And it's obviously very masculine, so it is about taking action on that, you know, pushing yourself to actually put into action what you are being led to put into action. It's not just words anymore. As far as for the collective stage, there is a huge amount of information coming out today, actually, that is, if you can seek it and find it, because, you know, it's been silenced a great deal, about the oppression and the true gangster activity that is being put upon us worldwide. And it really is a joke at this point. The Emperor energy coming in to say that it is a joke at this point, that we literally have criminals in charge that are taking part in the darkest of criminal activities and putting their authoritative stamp over us. And this has to stop. It has to, unless we want to reach a direction that we do not want to go into. And this starts in your inner self, working its way out. So this is where the message is to take your authority back wherever you know you need to today, to put out that frequency of authority. and actually being active. I've kept mentioning in many videos, do whatever you can, pester these people that are supposed to be getting paid to represent you, and they are in the main kowtowing down to these criminals that are putting their plan in motion, putting their authority, which is a joke. If it wasn't so dark, it would be funny. And so this is where we really do need to start putting that out there, literally hashtagging it, making sure they know that we know, and that there's enough of us that know, and that they know that we know. Because this pressure needs to be mounted, action needs to be taken with these people, and it is about strategy, it is about wisdom, because you don't want to fall into their traps, i.e. things like protests. That is a huge energy source that can be siphoned off and infiltrated with just a few, as we've seen over and over and over again. There's a lot of authority I mentioned in a few videos ago, go to the borders, being distracted by the elections in America. For my American brothers and sisters, go to the borders, that's where the danger is. And a couple of days ago, I can't remember, I mentioned that under the guise of this ridiculousness regarding the borders, a lot of innocents are going to be hurt, which is happening, but at the same point that strategic people will be getting sneaked in. And so really be aware of this, in that, at this point, if people really knew the plans behind this whole border fiasco, they would see that actually they would be at the borders, rallying to the police to say, right, it's now that everybody is in authority of this. Because what I feel and see them doing is sneaking in certain cartels, Chinese cartels that have already been working in Mexico alongside some of the Mexican cartels. I felt this a long time ago, preparing the ground. And so I feel that there's that plan coming to pass, that a lot of them are already through, and that there will be some kind of that color of the red and the thing that blows in the wind, where real people get hurt. But it is it's very dark, so be aware of that, and start thinking along those lines of, now it's time to protect you and yours and those around you, because it's not happening from the criminals that are actually causing this to happen. It's never going to happen within these systems the way they are. It is not going to happen the way it should, as in these people being paid to protect the people. There's a lot of authority being taken back through. A lot of the police are waking up regarding to the borders, particularly today. Something seems to erupt today that really does bring to light what they've been warning about for so long. So be aware of that. As far as Boris, as far as Boris, it feels like yet another deal is being brokered and made, again with the NHS, and again with selling more of that to companies that are private, that if you track back will seem to always lead to China. And this is a dark deal indeed. And so it feels like the NHS is being sold off more so today. So be aware of that. There'll be some kind of speech, some kind of announcement that totally tries to sway from the situation. The unrest regarding the unrest regarding a lady called Sarah Evergard, I think her surname was, who was seemingly murdered by a police officer here in the UK. It feels like that might brew back over again. You know, the police in the safety during COVID of the people decided to be very rough and ready and arrest people for holding a vigil for the girl, for the lady. And so it feels like there's more pressure there today, where people are trying to mourn, trying to bring to light that a lot of these officers are alone to themselves, and they've been given even more leeway to do what they want to do on the streets of the UK. There's a lot of psychopathic behaviour still to come out of many of the officers who've been given the rope to do so, who've been given the rope to fulfill their desires. And this authority seems to be stamping real hard from the police. They don't want this to be aired far and wide. They don't want this to be seen too much. And so there's real pressure there. There seems to be a bit of a battle brewing there still between the people who want to respect the passing and bring to light how she passed, and the officers who want this to disappear and feel they have the right to really stamp down some authority because of COVID. You know, everything is because of COVID. So on the bottom of the other deck, we have the Empress. So we've got the Emperor and the Empress. This is super powerful. Both major arcanas. The number 3 is the Empress. The number 4 is the Emperor. And so where the Empress is the reminder of the thoughts and the words and the deeds create the reality that we live in. This is super powerful today, in that we do need to be, from the very get-go, the seeds, the thoughts have to be of power, of empowerment, of authority, of taking our own authority, of manifesting strength and abundance and control over and dominion over our own lives and how we exist in this reality and what we bring into it. And then the Emperor coming in super powerfully in the masculine. So that's the divine feminine, the thoughts, the words and the deeds. And as the deeds spill over, it spills over into the masculine of taking the action to actually do those deeds, to pursue those deeds that represent these powerful, empowering thoughts, these seeds that you start off with. Be really particular about your words today, about speaking empowerment, speaking health, speaking abundance over yourself, and then over the outside of self, your family, the collective, but in particular self, because then that reverberates out to all around you anyway, through your auric field, through your energetic field. So be super powerful and super precise about your words today. This is spell work. We do manifest through our thoughts and our words and then our deeds. We can't just do one or the other, but we do still have power doing one of the other. So when those sneaky thoughts of lesser than, lack, sneak in, be really clear with the authority of your masculine, your divine masculine inside, to stamp that out and replace the word. This is spelling. It's spell in for a reason. You spell with your words. You speak ill health over yourself, you speak lack, you're going to find that that is manifested in the action of the divine masculine. And so really charge up your magnetic field today with super powerful words. Write them down, stick them up, make sure your eyes catch things that are full of potentials rather than full of lack. Make sure your eyes catch things and really take into account a bee landing on a flower, and look at the magnificence of that, the symmetrical nature of the flower and the bee, and really develop your thoughts that way and get really good at this. This is one way, a huge way of taking back that authority and taking back that power. So we have the beautiful divine feminine aspect also, which is of abundance, it is of fertility, it is of health, it is of wellness, it is of jewels, things that make you feel good. So do those ritualistic things that you know, prime yourself, make yourself feel good. Especially a lot of people have lost that during this narcissistic roller coaster ride of this gestational spell that they've been playing out and putting upon people. They've lowered people's frequencies, and they've lowered people's expectations of self. And you know, what's the point in getting ready today? I'm not going anywhere. Get ready, feel good, and then express that through your thoughts, through your words, and then through your deeds. Then we've got this super divine masculine side that is of power, action, authority, going forward with what the divine feminine has laid the ground for, the divine masculine going forward, hunting it out, gathering it in. And so this is your divinities within yourself. If you are not trying to get pregnant today, be very careful. If you don't want to get pregnant today, be very careful, because this is a really fertile energy. But for some of you, you'll either find out the news today that you're going to be grandparents, an aunt or an uncle, or you'll get the confirmation as a couple that you are pregnant. And so congratulations for those that resonate with that. That's fabulous news. This is so important. Everything that I've just said, if you find out this news, whether you're the grandparent, the aunt, the uncle, or the parents to be, parents already, you're a parent the moment you find out this news. Connect with your child. Make sure the masculine aspect of the relationship and the feminine aspect of the relationship, both of you, speak powerful words. Your baby is already being developed in that beautiful life-giving fluid holding memory, fluid holding frequency. I saw a video of a frog today, literally having its own fun, doing its own healing by sitting in this pool, and you can see it creating frequency, the different sounds that it makes, making the different rings around it, reverberating out around it, and it was enjoying it. It felt that frequency. So speak those powerful words of health, of well-being, of bliss to this beautiful creative space that is the womb, and make sure that that is every day. You know, when you don't want to speak it out loud as you're walking along, push those thoughts into that womb of power, of authority, of well-being, of beauty, abundance, and bliss. All of those things will make for a very powerful child coming into this reality, and also a very happy child, and also very happy parents. So congratulations to those that resonate with that. Drop me an email if that's you, because it's good news. So and who can't celebrate that kind of news? So the first card is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, this is about taking back that authority. This is about the abundance of the divine feminine, the expectation of beauty and of having enough, more than enough to even adorn yourself, let alone just sustain. And the divine masculine is all about having that authority over your own space, over your own land, your abundance here. It can speak to inheritance, and I'll get onto that soon. But for a lot of you, that would be a surprise type of inheritance, maybe. And one or two of you may be a long-standing quarrel over inheritance of some kind. But this Ten of Pentacles speaks of these two. This is what this attracts in. This is what this creates. This is what this energy together claims in full authority of self, that this is your birthright, this is your reality, this is your experience to have, and you have the power and authority to claim this in. Now, from the collective stage, there is a lot of taking of this ground from the gates of hell, you know, buying up that land, and a lot of land being bought up from China. This is dark. This is to for future plans regarding food, regarding, you know, changing people's makeup via food. They're taking their authority, though, they're doing it. And so it takes us to match that and match it again, because they have got a lead. You know, they've created these systems that keep these criminals safe, and allow these criminals to take this kind of activity. And so this is where we don't just have to match that force with force, we have to go even more to gain some ground. And so this is where we see today some more announcements, restrictions maybe from the collective stage of movement, where they were saying they were going to free up some movement. Again, it's put back down, locking in the land. It feels like there's going to be some news regarding a water situation, maybe because of the gates of hell, and maybe another elite globalist, but there's some kind of water situation where a certain section of land has, and it's going to bring to light the danger of these people being able to do these kinds of things. So basically they're locking the water in that would usually run down throughout other lands. And so look out for that, support the people who are being affected by that and help them make noise. And so it is about not just matching force with force, but, you know, in our divinity and sovereignty, in our wholeness, recognizing that this is exactly what they've wanted us to forget for good reason. Because this is when we can realize that we can do this. It isn't just written. Maybe in their words it is written, but it isn't just written. This is a creative space. This is a creative reality. This is an ever unfolding life that changes. And so we can, these people aren't just the be all and end all. These governments aren't just the best way we've got of doing things. No, they're arguably the worst. And so we need to recognize this, that they've built up a matrix that is their matrix, and it's real to us because we've been living in it and accepting it for so long. But actually doesn't have to be that way. It's not written that it has to be that way. That is their bullshit that they have changed and molded and prodded at and pushed on us with violence through organized religion in the main, and now through organized religion via governments and via these elite globalists, you know. So this is where we really do need to lift ourselves out of the veil of their matrix and see exactly what they've been doing. So there's conflict here with the Five of Wands clarifying the Ten of Pentacles. This would go with what the water lock-in, the land lock-in of the water source. This would go with also for those of you that are there's quarrels over inheritance, or you've just finding out about inheritance today, and you can see this writing on the wall of these quarrels. Everybody seems very needy in the family. You're going to get yours. Don't be pulled into the quarreling. Keep speaking authority and abundance and claiming your right into the situation, and you've got a head start. The border. This is a lot to do about the US border. And there seems to be a breakout of violence today, of conflict. Not as serious as I see coming, but, you know, serious enough that it makes some kind of noise. So keep an eye out for that. It feels like there'll be more quarreling in the UK today, conflict in the UK, particularly around the very charged and rightfully so charged, very sad passing of Sarah. And so my love goes out to their family wholeheartedly, because this is it just should never have happened at all. And so my love goes out to them very much so today. So the next card is the Three of Wands. Now, this is where taking that action with that divine masculine Emperor card, taking that action, your authority. This is about taking the action in particular for new contracts, new business opportunities, new business links for sure, to be able to think bigger, to not be put off by what they've been infusing into you and the collective for a long time. A lot of you have had family members, friends around you infusing this lack mentality, infusing this, yeah, you said you would make it years ago and you didn't, that kind of energy. You know, so this is where you stand up with your wands and look at the opportunities, and there are big opportunities today that you can there's a lot of you that are thinking of ideas that actually are found within the conflict and niches of what has been going on, where the lack is, where the conflict is, where the need is, and there are business ideas there for you to take up on. That will really bring in the abundance for you, to take that action in your authority. Be guided by your intuitive divine feminine. What is your gut telling you? Where is your gut flowing towards? What is pulling you? And really be guided also on the other side of that, where you just get an off-putting feeling. That's it, snap, no. Other opportunities will open up, but not if you cloud yourself with too many distractions that really look like opportunities but aren't. But a lot of energy today for working together, creating partnerships, creating working relationships for sure. Finding a way of bringing trade in through different ports today is for sure a good hit for some of you. This is something you've already been looking at, and there's a need there, and you are onto something big for doing so. Think of changes. Some of you that are wanting to spread the word, that are wanting to put out a different format of information. Be careful to not be dazzled by names and lights of people who've done this. Yes, in some circumstances that's great, but where you're wanting to speak out about things, be careful to not fall into the trap too much of using the old mainstream media format. Think differently, think bigger, think more, what's the word, eclectically. That's where it's going to be at. Absolutely, that's where it's going to be at. For those of you looking at trade, I said this a long time ago with the innovations of look at water, look at holistic medicine. Anything holistic is going to be huge, and is going to be much needed and much more readily accepted. One of the niches is that people are sick of big pharma bullshit, and so they're looking for the alternatives now, and that's some of the good things that can come out of what has been going on. Particularly looking at light. I've been interested. I haven't had the funds to go as heavy into it as I want to, but light therapy, the full light spectrum and combinations of different lights in different sequences, mixed with frequency. I can see this, I can feel the machine, and just need the way to build it. But you know, machines that absolutely heal, that would potentially break down, and I say potentially because I'm on here, but break down cancers, break down imbalances, and rebalance, recalibrate the body. And so that looking at that, if you're in a place financially or mechanically minded enough to do that, let me know, and go for it, because you know, regardless of who brings those things out, I want those things out there. This is a really good direction to be looking in, for making new trades, making new contracts, bringing about new ideas. And the later, towards the latter part of this year, you'll be hitting it hard with the finances coming in regarding that, because it's going to get big quick. And there's going to be an appreciation for it, and much more open heart for it in the collective, because of the good thing regarding a lot of the global elite is showing their hand, and Big Pharma in particular showing its hand as to how it goes on and what its real agenda is. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles. It was in the upright. 9 of Pentacles, to clarify the 3 of Wands, and this is about the 9, the perfect 9, the abundance, the bringing in the dividends of your work, of going with your gut, of listening to advice, of feeling your way through and being passionate and driven. This doesn't mean there aren't going to be obstacles along the way. But there's going to be far less obstacles when you're doing something with passion, in your authority, and speaking abundance into it, rather than fearing lack and fearing the taking of risk. And so this is really lovely, really good today. You can see this beautiful bird adorned with all of its beautiful feathers, and there's no lack here, there's abundance here, and the gate is open here on this card. And so this is yours. It's gated off for you. It's yours to claim through taking your action with the 3 of Wands. But it's open. There's lots of opportunities to create more here. It's yours to have. This gate is for you to be able to walk through by taking those actions, looking at different ports, particularly to bring in what you need to create those actions going forward. Now we've got the 2 of Cups again, keeps coming up as the next card. This is about the divinities of the divine feminine, divine masculine, but it is also about these sort of very much about being in balance with self, with your divinities. You can see the Kundalini energy here, reaching to the highest point in the zodiac, the Leo, the lion, again, the passion, the drive, that balance of the 2 within. Now, there's a lot of you that feel, because of maybe fear in the past, limitations of self in the past, that you've missed out on this soulmate energy. Some of you have, but even the encounter that you had gave you lessons to go forward, things that can help you create and sustain this authority in your own life and this abundance. Try not to look back on it too much with the disappointment, because we've got the 5 of Cups to clarify. So there's a bit of heartache here, and there's some of you realizing today that you are not in this ultimate of ultimate relationships. You're not in this relationship with yourself, and therefore you're not in that relationship with your other half. It's not fulfilling. It doesn't make your Kundalini energy spiral up. It doesn't make you fire up. It doesn't make you burn with desire for life. There's something here that is draining, that is empty. And the 2 of Cups are still in the upright. So this is your divine feminine, divine masculine within self, but there's an emptiness in the physical relationship outside of self. And there's something today that's sort of bringing attention to that, bringing that to the fore, which of course is difficult, but you know, it's about facing self and recognizing what were the limitations to your to you accepting less than balance and wholeness within somebody else, and attracting in that where was this, rather than concentrating just on these empty cups. It is time for a lot of you to let go of this. Some of you have already parted, but there's still this energetic cord, this emotionally driven cord that is holding on to something that you know could have been but wasn't, and on the other part that wasn't ever. It fulfilled a role for the person that you are at the time. It's been outgrown, but it feels like that there's still, it's a bit messy here today. And again, it goes back to you taking your authority in your divine masculine and in your divine feminine, and reaching for more, and being brave enough to, for a lot of you, the fear is being on your own. But for a lot of you, that's exactly where you need to be able to rebalance this divinity within, to really start to practice your energy within, and reach in that productive state, that productive orgasmic state that is driven, that is that lion, that takes then the action. So the inner ground of the divine feminine, and then the outer of the action. And being in these limitations is limiting you as to what you can create and how you can create and how well that turns out. So don't be pulled into these quarrels. Look within self and really make those decisions today to either cut cords. And once that fear of being alone disappears, you find that it gives you that time to rebalance, recalibrate, and you actually attract in wholeness, because you're working on wholeness within, and you're working from wholeness within. And so you magnetize that to you, rather than bringing in mirror effects of brokenness within other people. Very similar energetic imprints as to wounds that are there, and limitations and expectations that are there. So, you know, difficult, but, you know, there's abundance for you to find if you're brave enough to cut those cords. So that's the reading for the 17th. I'm hoping, I've got so much to do, but I'm hoping to get back on here later to do this 1717 that keeps coming up, and I feel like I've had a breakthrough with that, and there's a message there. I've got so many videos I want to do, and so I'll try and get on it and do that. So I appreciate you all listening. I appreciate all of the comments and all of the love. To the new people who are coming for readings, spiritual coaching sessions, and energy work, thank you so much. As I help you find the authority within you, you help me take the authority to sustain my family. So I appreciate that loop of gratitude and giving I do. So much love, stay balanced and stay whole. Mwah. Oh, like and share, please. I've decided I'm going to be taking my authority and asking for that. So I would really appreciate you sharing this around, letting people know I'm here, and that would be really, really helpful. Love you all.